Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Today, we're checking out the strategy game Vestiges Fallen Tribes. Now this is from WanaDev, the same studio that brought us Ragnarok and Propagation Paradise Hotel, but this time they're doing something completely different with a turn-based strategy game. Now the team did reach out to me before launch asking me to cover this title, so it is a sponsored video, but I'm an absolute sucker for turn-based strategy games, and I couldn't wait to show this game off to you guys. I'll of course go over the basic information, give you my overall impressions, compare it to some similar games, and hopefully by the end of this video you'll know if it's something you want to try or not. But for now, let's not waste any more time and get right into this. Vestiges Fallen Tribes is currently available for $14.99 on both the Metastore and Steam VR, and it's playable in both flat and VR modes. It features a story-driven 21-mission single-player campaign, where you take on the role of the game's 3 separate tribes, where you need to fight your way through lots of unique encounters. There's also plenty of cosmetic unlockables, army deck building, and competitive online multiplayer. But let's get into the most important aspect, and what I assume you guys want to hear about the most, and that's the overall gameplay. There's nothing quite like this, at least in VR. This is not a real-time strategy game. It is turn-based, but there's also no micromanagement. It's basically build your deck, choose the best cards to play, and placement is the most important factor here. Once the actual combat starts, it is an auto battle. So you'll pick the cards that you have at your disposal based on the points available, play your characters in specific positions. Obviously, like any strategy game, each character has their pros and cons. Range, speed, tankiness, melee capabilities, you name it. There's also some really cool unique abilities like healing your teammates or resurrecting them, even converting the enemy. So if you beat up the enemy enough, then you have this type of conversion system that after you beat them up enough, you can convert them to your side. So lots of unique elements, and where the strategy comes in is just placement and what units to pick. And then you watch the battle unfold. Now, I do wish the battle had a little more sound effects and there were a walking animation, but that's my biggest complaint. Like, the gameplay is fun. That is just graphical stuff that I would have liked to see. And speaking of that fun gameplay, I was locked in. Those 21 levels, like, I just wanted to play, all right, just one more, just one more, just one more. And that single player campaign, if you don't get beat a lot, is still going to take you probably like 6 hours. That's even if you're like winning game after game after game, you're still going to probably be playing for around 6 hours. Like I said, there's 21 missions, and even if they're only 15 minutes each, that's still 5 hours without losing. Now, another minor complaint is the single player campaign is a bit linear. It's almost like a very large story-driven tutorial where they have you play every single tribe and put you in multiple different situations so you can learn some of the best counters available in the game. In many ways, it's like extended preparation for the multiplayer game. And this is where the game has some serious meat to it. Not only is there a ton of replayability with online competitive battles, but you also get to build up your own personalized deck so you know what units you're bringing to battle, try and throw off your opponent, come up with new strategies, and it also operates a lot different than the single player mode. Rather than just being put into scenarios where you have to survive, you're building up your army over time. Each round gets bigger and bigger, and you're trying to just do the most outright damage, win the battle as quick as possible, because based on how many units you have left at the end of the fight is how much damage you do to your opponent. Eventually, you will get to the point where you kick your opponent's ass so bad that you do 100 points of damage and you take them out. So they heal between rounds. So a round does not determine anything. And I was playing and I was kicking butt constantly. And then one unit or just reshaping the battlefield, moving your units around with a strategic retreat can actually change everything. That is where the real strategy comes in. And it is a very solid strategy game. Now, when it comes to my personal opinion on this title, I do have some mild concerns about longevity. So if we don't see any upgrades over time, just like any other multiplayer game, the player base will drop off. This game does an amazing job of scratching that very specific VR strategy game itch, not only because there's very few VR games in that genre, but mainly because it's done quite well. Probably the closest comparison out there right now is Demio Battles, but again, that doesn't operate exactly the same. You do build up a deck, you do build up an army, and the army does go out and battle for you, but there's a lot less decision making in what cards to choose from or what enemy attack because you don't have that freedom. When it comes to the actual attacking and the battle itself, that auto plays just like in Demio battles, your army. They just go out and do whatever they want. Well, you only have an army here. You don't have a hero with special abilities that you get to target. So it's a little bit less sophisticated. However, I found the overall strategy just as good. I found the games very satisfying, and like I said, I was locked into the single player. I was just like, all right, one more round, 21 missions are done. Like, I was locked in over the weekend. It was really fun, scratch that itch. Anytime I had a few free minutes, I just put the headset on and jumped in. So, if you are a strategy game fan looking for something in VR, I would highly recommend this game. And now I just want to show off a little bit more gameplay so you get a better understanding of exactly what I'm talking about. And that right there was today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And as always, I'll see you guys on next time.